Live. Yeah,
Live.
live. And I'm just thinking, I don't think I've watered that orchid recently. I need to do that. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining me. And Pete, we've got Pete Ames this afternoon. Very lucky.
Hello, everybody.
So some regular viewers will have already come across Pete. He's hosted for us and also been a guest before. And I can't even start where to go with your experience now, but there's so many different things about things that he can cover. But anyway, just say hello for now.
Hello for now.
Yeah. So what we're doing today, just let's make sure why we're here. So today we are. The reason why I've booked this particular course, and actually I've put it above. We were going to do this in a month or two, but I've decided actually it's more important to address now. Is I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but I think the sensible business people will be reflecting that we are very likely going to be coming up to recessionary times very soon.
Very soon.
However, to make sure your business is recession proof, this is why now you need to make your business recession proof at this point in time. Therefore, making sure we maintain our clients, make sure we're happy, get more revenue out of them if possible. This is the time to do it. So that is why I've got Pete here today, because he is really good at doing these sorts of projects.
I am indeed. Thank you, Nikki. And as you say, recessions, the thing about recessions is that the volume doesn't stop, it just shrinks. So where someone currently has enough volume of need to engage maybe one or two or three suppliers, when it shrinks, there's only enough to keep one going. And what we're here to talk about today is basically how to make sure you're that number one.
Precisely.
Top of that pile.
Also, by preparing, you're also then stopping panicking. You want to prepare, not panic.
Exactly.
If you realistically think about it, a recession just means it's not growing or it's decreased or whatever. So if we've still, say, got 98% of the market, that's still a huge amount there available. You just want to make sure your business is the one that's getting as much of the slice of the pie as you can possibly get, which I always want as much of that pie as I can. So, in all circumstances,
all the clients' money belongs in our pocket.
The whole planet of strawberries. Sorry, that's a separate conversation. Anyway, so why are we going to be talking to clients? Why would we want to do that?
Why would we talk to clients? Wouldn't business be great if there weren't any? Right, so the reason we're going to talk to clients is I'm going to throw a few stats out now, really, to reinforce this point. There is a gap between the service we believe we offer and the service our clients are experiencing. And I say that with some strong confidence because there's a lot of research that's been done to reinforce this point. I'm not going to bring up a slide deck because I promised Nikki I wouldn't do that, but I'm going to throw some numbers out now. So
we love numbers. Go for it.
We love numbers. Bain & Company, big management consultancy in the US, did some research. They spoke to 360 accountants. And they spoke to the accountants' clients and former clients.
Yeah.
And they asked a simple question. Does the accountant provide an exceptional service? Guess how many accountants said they provided an exceptional service?
Well, most of them are arrogant, so the majority would say absolutely.
80%. 80%.
Sorry, accountants out there.
No, I think it's fair call. Well, who knowingly doesn't provide a great service? 80% of people think genuinely that they are providing a great service.
Of course.
Guess how many clients said that they were being provided a great service, an exceptional service?
Well, you did show me some stats.
I did show you. So this is the question for everyone else.
I would say very low, and I would say if I was doing so, I would say probably not obviously my clients, but in general 50%, because people still, it's like the bank managed thing. They might not actually feel that they're getting very good service, but they really can't be bothered to do the move.
It's a good point. We're going to come back to that. The actual answer is 8%. 8%.
I must have gone.
Of those 360 clients
who said, generous.
Well, this is the trouble. As you said, my clients do. It's very unlikely, given those numbers, which have been reinforced by lots of other businesses, Rockefeller Foundation, Educational Research Institute of America. Lots of people have looked into this, and the numbers come back very consistently. The gap, the odds are
That's really
some of your
sad.
clients are not as happy with your service as you think they are. Not because it's bad, but because it's just not quite right.
It's
And the
not
other thing that was,
starting.
yeah, and the other interesting thing that came out of this was when asked why they left their previous accountant said, "Oh, it's because of money or it's because of expertise." Clients, overwhelmingly, the top number one choice was, "We aren't treated right." I know. Horrible, isn't it? So the reason we ask our clients is because it makes a real difference to how they view us. We've actually worked with some clients who put the VOTC, the voice of the customer program that we help them get running.
Let's get this again. Voice of the customer, because
Voice of the
you
customer.
always say VOTC and you go,
I will say
oh, yeah.
VOTC.
Voice of the customer. Okay, great.
Indeed. Yeah. So when we had one client actually put VOTC into a proposal they submitted to one of their prospects, said, "This is what we do to maintain quality." And when they got the deal, and it's hard to know how much it influenced it, but one of the few comments that came back about why they were chosen, the VOTC was pointed out as a thing that was interesting. It's a differentiator.
Yeah.
Nobody asks. Not really. Not in a way that's like, okay, tell me what could be better. Tell me where I'm not good enough. Tell me what you want me to do differently. Nobody really asks that question and sounds like they want to know the answer. We say, "So how happy are you?"
Please don't say harsh.
Please don't say anything harsh that I have to go back and tell the boss or I have to deal with. Yeah. So the reason we ask is because there is a big gap between what our clients are feeling and what they think. And, as you said, Nikki, people don't complain. We're British for a start.
Too polite.
No, I've been to restaurants recently with the kids, and food's come out. It's come out late. It's come out and been a little rubbery and cold. And then what did I do when the nice serving person came over and asked? Is it all right? Oh, it's lovely. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. We don't complain. We don't. So the reason you have to ask is to draw these things out and then flip it round. What do you get as a positive? Right. You get some brilliant things. First of all, you get free consultancy. There are businesses out there that pay like Bain, McKenzie, and the Big Four to come in and consult on their business about what could be better. Your clients will tell you for free. They will just tell you in detail, and they'll also give you ideas. Well, this could be better. I've seen it done like this by someone. Oh, okay, I'll write that down. So you get that. You get free consultancy. You get differentiation. I spoke about that already, that you can really show that you're different, that you actually care. And the third one is you protect the clients. You understand where work needs to be done. And the second you listen and actually start to act on their feedback, you skyrocket up in their estimation. Yeah. So you're protecting your client, you're uncovering places to improve. You're also, because you're focusing on not just your service, but their world, you're uncovering new services to offer. I've got a great story about that one. We had one of our clients back in the day was an aircraft maintenance company. So they maintained the little things on an aircraft. They didn't maintain planes. They maintained the heater for the food and stuff. And we did one of these for them, and we rang around, and someone said, "You know what? I've got loads of little stuff that I just can never justify bringing over to you. If you came and got it, you'd have all of my business in that way." Okay. So if we got a van, you'd give us more work. Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah. Next few calls. Listen, if we got a van and we just came round periodically and just collected all the small stuff that's not big enough, would you send the work our way? Oh, yeah, that'd be brilliant. Yeah, that's been a problem. The client took that idea, literally bought a van, got a driver, going round. Within 4 months, they'd paid for the van and the driver. And then, well, they're still running it and presumably for vast amounts of profit. So your clients will tell you little new ideas, which heading into a recession is always useful to expand your service. So that's kind of, I've ranted on a little bit there. I get very excited about VOTC.
Absolutely. I just want to do a little housekeeping item.
Yes.
So we had the banner up a little while ago saying about please do ask your comments, because this is live. If you're watching on LinkedIn Live or YouTube Live, not the follow-up, then please do ask us questions, and we will Pete will be happy to answer them, because he's the man with the answers today. And you just have to put a little thing, or even just say hi. It's nice to see who's watching today. And
He's nice.
the lovely Nigel, I've already had so many meetings with him this morning, and he obviously isn't fed up with my voice yet today. Because just saying hello, guys, looking forward to hearing Pete's magic recession breaking tips. Magic.
Well,
Great
hopefully
reputation.
I've drawn that line from why we do this, and you can see how it starts to protect.
Yeah.
Because I've done these. I do these a lot for recruiters, and I've lost track now the number of times they've said, "Can you do this with our best client?" Yeah, I'll do that. We'll start with a good one, just to ease our way in. And I've come back and I've said, "Listen, I don't know how to tell you this, but if you don't book your ideas up, they're going to sack you." Now, I've always couched it more kindly than that, but it's happened with enough frequency, and these people genuinely believe they're giving a great service, that there's no problem there. By asking, they've stopped that client leaving.
Absolutely.
And that really matters.
So we know why we're going to do this. Yes. I think everyone out there is now absolutely, they understand the VOTC, they want to do it. What does it cover? What does it mean? What's the next bit?
Okay, well, let's start kind of by talking about what it's not, right? So it's not just a simple survey that you send out on an email, right? It's a conversation.
Yeah.
Ideally,
qualitative, not quantitative.
Qualitative, not quantitative. You do capture some data that you can sort of compare, but it's really about conversation, digging, investigating. And to do that, you've got to get them on the phone, or you've got to get them in person. I like on the phone because I'm a third party, so I really, if they say the company in question's rubbish, I hate them, it's no skin off my nose. If you're going to do it yourself, the phone gives a little bit of emotional distance. So if you emotionally react, like your face, like, oh shit, they don't see it, and you can just don't get it in your tone of voice. So I like the phone, but you can do them in person. Person's great. I'll come on to this in a minute. If you're skewing towards exploration rather than feedback, I always start with feedback. So over the phone, proper conversation, and they're structured. They're not just, tell me how we're doing, because that's a really unfair question. Here's the entire of everything we do for you and my business. Fix it for me. That's really harsh on someone to ask. You're not going to get much answers. It's too big. So you have to be focused. You go in with a structured plan of, okay, I'm going to ask you about how we onboard. I'm going to ask you, and score me out of 10. The scoring's probably the biggest tip I can give today. I'm being naughty. I should save that to the end. But when you ask them about it, don't just ask tell me about it. Ask them to give you a score out of 10. 10's great, 1's rubbish. It brings the mind in.
Now, there's a lot more tips at the end, so stay tuned.
I will be throwing some tips around, just flinging them out. Yeah, so ask people, out of 10, what's brilliant about how we onboard? What's good about when we take a new requirement? What's good about when we kick off a new project? How are we for community? You break it down into subsets. 3 or 4, no more, because you'll find that regardless of what you ask them, sometimes they'll just start talking about what they want to talk about. But that first question has to ease them in. Yeah, so it's
and that's a good point, because so by having those sections, the bits that you want to have it more structured, because Nigel's making a good point. If you do it too open-ended, wouldn't a lot of customers say price is the first way to improve?
Yeah, they will. Yeah, if you go, what could be better? Well, you could be cheaper.
Yeah,
strangely enough, they very rarely have much to say on price when I ask about price. I don't do it very often, but when I do talk about it, they're kind of like, yeah, it is what it is.
Well, I get frustrated, I'm probably not so frustrated now. I just laugh at them more now. But the potential new clients who want to leave their current practice because of service, yet then they're also expecting to pay less. And you're like, which do you want? Service or economy? It's you don't. You just think,
yeah.
Oh, you just
think,
It's
Yeah.
a hands in the head moment, really.
Oh,
Isn't
it is. Sales, this is off topic, but sales is a process of exclusion. I
Yeah.
do a great service and I charge accordingly.
Precisely.
And I get
And
rid of the
we
people who don't
only
want that.
have so much time. If you want us,
Yes.
you've got to pay for
Yeah.
it.
Listen.
And Nigel's on a roll today.
Oh,
What's the best way to avoid or overcome the price objective?
don't ask about it.
Yeah.
Put simply,
Don't
because
bring it
this
up.
isn't a sales pitch. This isn't a sales pitch. That's a really important thing. Thank you, Nigel. I don't think it's what you're asking, but I want to bring it up.
Go for it.
What you do not do in these calls, under any circumstances, is sell. I have a story about why this doesn't work. I went on a training course ages ago about LinkedIn advertising, paid advertising, really, on social media. And I went on this 2-day course. It was a very good course. And about 3 months later, someone from the training company rang up and said, "You did this course. We really want to get some feedback on how it went." Okay, I
Nice.
do this. I'm always happy to feedback. People really want to be asked as well. That's the surprising thing. They really like to be asked. I like to be asked. I was like, yes, I have lots of stuff to tell you that could have been better. Ask away. And they did. And we probably spent 15 to 20 minutes on the phone with me sort of giving some feedback. And at the end of the call, he went, "Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much. So listen, we've got this new course coming up and we wondered if you'd be interested." And I can remember this little flush of rage, because whether this is true or not, my assumption was that was the whole point of this call. I've just spent 20 minutes of my time giving you feedback, which you probably don't care about, may not have even written down, because all you were waiting for was the chance to pitch me a new course. It invalidates the whole thing. You cannot, even if they go explicitly, yeah, we've got a new project coming up. Okay. Leave it. Just bring them up the next day. Just on that call, do not get into it. Because this is about what could be better, what's going on in your world. That's the focus. So you have these structured questions. You don't ask about price if you don't want to get into price. What do you like about the way we kick off projects? Well, it could be cheaper. It doesn't come up. They talk about the things that could be better. And if you can improve by asking narrow questions, the feedback you get is smaller. So if you ask about what do you like about how we kick off projects, you'll get something like that. What do you like about the way we we arrange the first meeting for a project? You'll get a really small answer. So by focusing on the things you think you could need change, you'll uncover things that you can easily change, and your service will get better for very little investment, and thus the value of you increases and the price value equation becomes in your favor. So Nigel, that's kind of the roundabout answer. Hopefully it's answered it. So you've got these structured questions on your business, and then the other half of your call is to explore the client's world. So that's where you have, again, fixed questions, ones you plan to ask. I highly recommend you start by talking about what they're excited about. What's gone well for you in the last 12 months? Well, I'm brilliant. Like, everybody loves to talk about what they've done well. So you start on the positives. What's gone well? What do you think? What are you excited about looking forwards? Okay, yeah, interesting. Okay. What's coming down the track for you? What new projects, what new work, what expansion plans? All of which will feed into you understanding their world, potential new services you can offer. And then you get into the darker questions. Okay, what do you foresee as the hurdles? What's between you and...
Oh, Pete. Goodness, he was just really on a roll there and he's just frozen. Hopefully he will come back in a second. In the meantime, well, hopefully he'll come back. Goodness. Okay. Hopefully he'll just go in and out. I'm just thinking about what questions we can ask. Do you think about what questions you can ask him when he comes back? Oh, he's back. You back? No, he's gone. Goodness, I've never had somebody completely disappear during a call before. He's just on his way back. There we go. I don't think I've ever had him walk out on me in the middle of one of these.
It was just a mic drop moment. Did that not get a... Yeah, mic drop. Yeah, so just do that.
And it was like it wasn't in one... I wasn't like ready with an anecdote or anything.
I apologise, Nikki. I don't know what happened there. I don't know where I got up to.
No, I've sort of right. So we'd gone through how to structure it. You just started about the second half. Oh, peace.
Oh yes, I'd said about the second half. So the second half
Yeah,
is the
second half
exploration.
is the starting.
Second half is the exploration. You're talking about what's going well, what they're excited about, what projects they got planned,
Yeah,
what they foresee as hurdles, and then you get into the really dark. Right, what are the dark clouds on the horizon for the industry, for your team, for the industry, for the company, those sorts of things. And what you're listening to is, first of all, you're trying to remind yourself that their world is more than just your service.
yeah.
That's an important thing. You're
I
making
find
them
it
feel.
fascinating hearing about what's happening in their
I
industry.
love it. Other people's train sets are fascinating to listen to.
Right.
Yeah. But you're making them feel. Everybody loves to talk about themselves. You're investing a little bit into the relationship. They're going to appreciate the time to talk, and then you're also uncovering opportunities to add value. You don't know how to do it, but you can find someone who does, or opportunities to add value with a new service like the aircraft parts, finding that van. That came out of nowhere. If they hadn't asked, they would never have come up with it. So innovation is what we're looking for really in this second half. And that's how it's run. I do a training course for some people, and I spend like 3 hours trying to teach the intricate elements. But when it boils down, it's about ask pre-prepared questions, be very curious, never push back, never sell, and
don't make it
explore.
too long.
You know what? People give me on average an hour.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. This is one of the things that a lot of people say. I'm surprised it hasn't come up in the questions. Well, can I get this time off people? Yeah. Yeah, you will. 100%. I've had to cut calls short because they've overrun beyond my time. Yeah. People will really go into
I suppose
once they understand.
Active client.
Yeah. Once they understand, it's not a sales pitch.
Okay.
That's the thing. They think, because most account checking calls are, how are you? How's it going? Cool. You got any work coming our way? We're trying to. It's like that's what they're used to. And what they get is
you must be doing that in your normal update meetings, not in this type of
exactly.
meeting.
This is a completely separate thing.
Yeah.
This is about them, and I can sense the transformation within the first one or two questions when I do it with people. It's like, oh, you actually want to know, because when I say, you don't go, oh, okay. You dig in and we explore. And then it's such a refreshing change for them to have this kind of investment of time from you that they willingly give it. It's a constant surprise to people when I do this as a service that they can get this time from their clients.
So I'm just conscious time's moving
Indeed.
on. So we know why we're doing it. We know sort of the structure of how it's going to happen and everything now. But how do we select which clients?
Okay. Yeah. So this is going to depend upon the state of your business. If your first concern is, you know what, I really don't know how secure we are, you should be picking your most valuable clients.
Yeah.
You need, if they are the ones who, if they left and it would break you, focus on them first. Number 2, you would look for your most vulnerable clients. So the ones where there's another supplier in and you suspect your second choice.
They're sniffing around.
Those would be the people you pick. The other third one that's sometimes worth considering is your biggest potential clients. We've only been in 6 months and we know that we're only getting 10% of the work because we've only got one contact. If we could just get the rest, that would be the one I would do next. The other thing to think about, if your focus is much more towards the exploring side of things, pick people who you are confident will be open and thoughtful in the feedback they give.
Yeah.
Some people who are just like closed books, trying to drag blood out of a stone, trying to get conversation from them. And then the other ones who, when you talk to them, they ask as many questions about your business as you do about theirs. Yeah. Those ones are going to be really, really forthcoming with ideas and innovations.
I would also be bearing in mind that we're doing this today because of the recession proofing.
Yes.
I would be tempted to do a cross section across sectors so that you can predict a bit more which of those ones are the ones that are going to be, because like previously we know in the last recession it was the construction industry and retail. They were
engineering and medical weren't touched.
Yeah, precisely. Some grew. So it's working out which of those sectors you're most at risk of, and seeing what you can do to maintain them. And then the ones that are actually going to potentially do well. And I mean, just from the pandemic, some of my clients have done, not because of the client, but just, because they've done IT and some more homework and all that sort of stuff. So you've got to be able to pick your bit. It's good to get that information so that you can pick your battles.
Absolutely. The other question, really, which I know you didn't ask specifically, but it's worth mentioning, is who to do it. You need to pick not just the person you're going to do.
Yes, I was thinking about who was going, but yes, who should do it?
Yeah.
Well,
who
someone in your organization, or is there people outside? Who would
there are people out there. There's for example, in law, actually, this has been around for quite a long time. It's called customer listening projects usually, and there's a chap I know, Darren Francis, who specializes in legal firms. I think professional services firms, and he's very, very good. So there is this existing market for it. Obviously, I do it, but I'm not going to pitch myself. I hate it when people do that on these things. But there is something to be said for a third party, because they're well practiced at it. Do it a lot. They're independent, so they never push back. Because I don't get emotionally attacked when someone says something bad about the service. And the other person is very open, because there's no consequence. They're not going to upset the person they work with on a daily, weekly basis. So you can do external.
And it can be then a bit more anonymous as well.
A bit more anonymous, yeah. If you don't want to pay that, you kind of want to retain control, or you only want to do it piecemeal, if you've got something like a virtual assistant, or you've got someone in marketing who you think has the right inquisitiveness, would ask questions, really likes to know how things work,
confidence,
but is also very distant from the actual supply of the service or the product, that can work as well. Sometimes when I train people, I often train the marketeer to do it, because they love the insights into the world of the customer.
Yeah, absolutely. Then they can use some of that feedback in their marketing usually.
Yeah, I think marketing is a really good place to put this, if you have them.
Yeah, no, when we've done it before, we've used a virtual PA before for it, and we've used a marketing person. So we've done both in both ways.
Yeah, and they have their pros and cons. Marketing tend to get very excited about and they feel bad sometimes about saying, whereas a VA can feel a bit more independent but can't use the information. Everything has a pro and con. If you are the business owner of a small business and you're not necessarily the frontline supplier of services, you can do it, but you have to be really strict with yourself about turning down the sniff of a business opportunity and taking the punch on the nose, even if it's unfair, even if you know what they said isn't true, you can't react.
No,
So it's hard. What I would definitely say is
you've got to do this one as a customer, all right. And this is what I say to my team as well, is it doesn't matter if they're wrong, they perceive that they're right, and therefore there is an issue.
Yes. I hate the customer is always right as a phrase, because it's often untrue. But your job's not done till the customer is happy.
Precisely.
Doesn't care if they're right or not. And that's what the focus should be.
Precisely. So we're just bearing in mind we're coming towards it. We try and keep a tight ship here.
We do.
At 30 minutes. If there's any more questions, do quickly pop them on, and we'll do quick fire round. But top tips, I promised them during time. People are going to be waiting to the end for these. What are your top tips, Pete?
All right, my top tip is one top tip, really.
Oh, one.
It's one. I keep it simple. Right? I like call to action.
Yeah.
If what I've said today has resonated, choose a client, someone you think will do it, that you care about their opinion and they're willing to be open.
Yeah.
Write down 3 questions about your service. Write 3 questions you want to ask about their world, and just organize the call. Just do it yourself.
Book it now.
Book it now, and just remember the 2 rules: no selling, no pushback. And see what you get from something that's thrown together. And then imagine if you implemented an ongoing project that constantly pull that kind of information from your client base. But you can start tomorrow. That's my tip.
Fabulous. I do need to work out, who when are we going to start again?
I think it should never stop.
We were doing that quite regularly before the pandemic, and we need to start doing that again. Yep. Absolutely. Excellent. Well, thank you so much, Pete.
Thank you, Nikki. It's been a pleasure. As you can see, I get excited talking about this stuff. So I
I
enjoy
do. I
myself.
just like, to be honest, I love, sorry, accountants out there, but I love talking to my clients. So much interesting. And she just hear so much about what's going on, about their clients. Just, yeah, I could do that all day long, and I do. So thank you very much for your time, Pete.
Been a pleasure.
If anyone wants to contact Pete, he's linked to us on this on LinkedIn. Just go into his profile from Flair Growth Consultancy. But thank you very much, and have a lovely weekend, Pete.
Thank you very much. Same to you, Nikki, and same to everyone else out there.
Thank you. Oh, wow. This weekend, what did I have?
What are you doing this weekend, Nikki?
What did I have? What am I doing this weekend? Oh!
Who sent you that?
I haven't had any sparkly for a long time. I might have to just open it.
Well, 15 years of Gorringe is worth celebrating.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, because the 12th is when June the 12th, 2008. Oh, 2007, apologies. Is when I made the very strange decision to incorporate.
Great timing.
Gorringe and Co Limited originally. Right. So thank you very much. Next week, now this is really good one. All of them really good, but this is a bit different. We are going to be talking to Kim Sell next week, and we're going to be talking about confidence and self-esteem. Because, I work with so many fabulous people, but it's amazing how some of them just don't have enough confidence or self-esteem. So she is going to be telling you how to get it by the bucket load. So thank you very much, and cheerio. Have a lovely, lovely, lovely weekend.